beautiful weather outside? And you know what? The most beautiful part of this evening is all the people sitting in this room. And why I say that this is the most beautiful part, because in spite of the beautiful weather outside, the type of commitment and the dedication to SAMHIN, which is being reflected right now in this room, is actually needs an applause. So we are going to begin our program for this evening today. And even before I invite Anita ji to start this beautiful event with a beautiful Ganesha pair, I have to say I have been with SAMHIN since its inception. So Anita ji, please come forward. And everyone knows Anita ji, right? Yes. I know everybody.
No. Thank you and welcome everybody. We'll start with Ganesh Shloka. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. You take over. Thank you.
So just like a traditional way, we have invited Lord Ganesha to start off this event, which is celebration of SAMHIN 4th year. I remember in 2014, Dr. Makhija calling me and asking me, Varsha, नाम ये SAMHIN कैसा रहेगा? तो मैंने बोला बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा, Dr. Makhija. So I cannot say any more about this organization because I would like to invite a person who knows everything about SAMHIN. He has founded this organization. He is current president and founder. So I would like to invite Dr. Vasudev Makhija. Please welcome him with a round of applause, and we all appreciate his hard work. Dr. Vasudev Makhija.
Thank you, Varsha, and thank you all for coming, braving this, as Varsha said, wonderful weather. I know quite a few people could not make it because of the weather and because some other people were under the weather. You raised this a little bit. Yes, better. So this journey began more than 4 years ago actually, and as you know, our Desi population has grown. You can probably guess from the number of pawn shops we have in our neighborhood, number of temples we have. In 2014 I counted we had 50 places of worship in New Jersey. And I think now it's probably at least 75, if not more, and it's growing. What we realized is that there were gaps in the caretaking of this community. And to fill those gaps, we needed an organization. So we worked on it for a couple of years and launched it in 2014. There are many other organizations that are working hard and doing different kinds of specific programs. Like we have Samaj that runs support groups that do a wonderful job. We have Manvi that helps women who are victims of violence. And there's others in North Jersey, Wafa is another one that provides counseling and residential services. But we needed a comprehensive service to help people to improve access to care, A lot of times when people need to find a South Asian culturally competent provider, they don't know where to send them. So we develop a network of providers which is available free online, SAMHIN.org. Anybody can access it, find a South Asian provider speaking a particular language, Gujarati, Hindi, Sindhi, Telugu. So what we launched the organization in 2014, and since then we have developed several programs, and I'll list some of them. And I remember when we first launched, one of the friend and colleague I had, Dr. Meena Murthy, she was supposed to be here, she's not here, Director of Endocrinology at St. Peter's, and she approached me. She said, one of the first things you should do is something about alcohol. It is the problem is rampant in our community, both in our generation and also in the youth. And in the youth, of course, there is, you hear in the colleges, there are deaths because of that. There was this case in Jersey City, you might have read in the newspaper, 5 young people, the day after the wedding, emergency services were called in a luxury condo, I think Crystal Towers or something in Jersey City, and the emergency services came at 5:30 in the morning. I think 2 people or 3 people were pronounced dead right there, and a couple of people were pronounced dead in the hospital, and 2 others were pronounced dead within a few weeks after that. 5 people died. So the problem is significant, but our community is pretty good at sweeping under the rug everything. हम लोग को ऐसा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता है, वो उन लोग को होता है खाली, अमेरिकन्स को होता है, हमारा तो we are okay, but we are not okay. We hide behind this myth of model minority. I had a video actually, but we are not set up to show you. That kind of captures that. There was an article in India brought recently about how Indian Americans are among the highest in average income, and which is true. And but it also, what it does is also ignores the fact that there are many who are also living under the poverty level in this country. Indians, other South Asians. And this is sending a message to the government, hey, we don't need to allocate any resources for our community. We are just fine, when we are not. There are homeless Indians. You go to Jersey City, there are so many elderly that are homeless. In New Brunswick, in New York. So the need is there, the poverty is there, and those people get forgotten in this when we hide behind that model minority myth. So one of the things that we have tried to do when we launched the organization was first to get people to see the reality through education. We provide lectures, workshops. So since we launched in 2014, we have conducted about a total of 40 events, and these include about 15 lectures and workshops. So we've been pretty busy, and we have done many health fairs, and for health fairs we have collaborated with other established organizations that have been doing a wonderful job in doing the health fairs, and I certainly you'll hear more about that later today. We kind of piggyback on them, and they've been wonderful in including us and helping us bring mental health on the same platform as the physical health, which is so important. There is no mental health without physical health, no physical health without mental health. So some of the lectures we did were also CME lectures, which means the people who attend, like nurses and physicians, they actually get credits in hospitals. And these lectures were geared towards increasing the cultural competency of people that provide care in the hospitals. They have no clue, like a Hindu patient, vegetarian getting admitted, they serve beef, hamburger, and then the nurses complain that, hey, doc, the patient is not eating. So we have to educate them that a Hindu vegetarian person doesn't eat beef, or a Hindu non-vegetarian also typically does not eat beef. There are exceptions, but most people don't. But the hospitals have to be educated. They don't have that knowledge. They know what a kosher food is. They know a Muslim person cannot eat pork, but somehow they don't know that a Hindu person cannot eat beef, or a vegetarian person needs to serve a vegetarian meal. So we have to educate them. We have to educate about the cultural norms of our community, and they're providing care to these people. And then going back to the alcohol, as Dr. Meena Murthy has requested, so, alcoholism is an addiction, and there are many kinds of treatments. And one of the tools that is used to help with recovery is what we call free AA meetings. And one of the problems is that our community people feel that they don't fit in when they go to the mainstream AA meetings. AA meetings are run by those who have recovered from alcohol and want to help others. It's a very powerful tool, and it works very well, and it helps many people. They have AA meetings across the country, in every county, every town, but there was none for South Asians. So we established the first South Asian AA meeting in the Islin area that's run every Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. in a church. The group is growing, and we'll hear more about that from Param Sehgal later on. Another thing that we hear about a lot is the problem of smoking and chewing tobacco especially. And I used to go to this place, restaurant Jhopri, you might have seen on Oak Tree Road. And if you remember, those who have been from the area for a long time, in the front of the restaurant there was a nice floor sitting area. So one day I go in there, that is not there anymore. What happened? I asked the guy, that was a pawn shop now, that corner. That's been converted to pawn shop. And Ashok Bhai, the owner of that place, told me, this pawn shop is doing more business than we are doing in the restaurant. And in that block, there are 3 pawn shops. In the Galaxy next door, the Sugar Tree Plaza, there are 2 pawn shops. You go to Islin area, there are tons of pawn shops. Huge business. And also producing huge risk for cancer. There are all kinds of tobacco products that are South Asian, Indian tobacco products that are being sold. Some legal, not legal, others not legal. So this year we had an intern from graduate school from Montclair University, and he did an internship. He began a tobacco initiative. We did about 400 surveys as a first step in trying to establish the extent of the problem. One of the problems that our community faces is that there is no data. If you go online and search for any disorders or any problems pertaining to our community, we don't find any data. And if you don't have data, the problem doesn't exist. And you can't have data because our community wasn't even recognized. Until recently in census, we were lumped together with Pacific Islanders. There were no South Asians. If you remember filling out those census, until recently there was no South Asian character. Only now we are getting to be separated so we can have more better data. So we are starting to collect the data, and we'll review this data and analyze it, and then develop a program to address the issue of tobacco in our community. That is in our near future, hopefully we'll do it. What else have we done? Last year we partnered with Manvi. They approached us to help run their support program for the women of victim of violence. And Suruchi will tell you more about that later. And the biggest thing is